Alright, so let's cut to the chase now. Why did I make this diagram, and why are these center notes flagged? They're kind of flagged. They look like flag notes, you know. So let's zoom out a little bit. The fretboard up here today is just a generic fretboard. I'd really rather see the that other fretboard there. Okay, so I went ahead and brought that little diagram over in case we have to refer to it. It is pertinent, and as you know, yesterday's diagram was mainly concerned with these triad arpeggios, and most of them did start on root and local root. So local root for Dorian is 2, local root for Phrygian is 3. You know, it's local root, but of course it's relative to the key of the modal scale, the modal scale tone chords. Okay, and then we have Mixolydian, the local root of 5, so it's 5, 7, 2. I should put the numbers here. I like when I have those numbers. 6, root 3. It's very easy to read them right off. This is G shape. This is G shape. Most of them are G shaped local roots right there. Matter of fact, all of them are G shape or G minor shaped local roots right there. There's G minor shape for Dorian. Aeolian is G minor shape. But you know, if we take any 6 strings anywhere else in this board, say from 2 to 2 here, and make a fretboard there, if we started on the 2, let's say, we wouldn't have a G-shaped bottom triad. You know, the bottom triad, in this case it's root. But it's easy to see, just read it right off the diagram, that it's going to be a D shape right there. The only difference is we have to warp this over to see that D shape nicely, because when we're doing triad arpeggios, you know, triad arpeggio diagrams, let's say, we're missing other notes. When it gets interesting, I start coughing. So we're missing other notes here, but I did add them in. Okay, so I added them in so we could see 5, root 3 right there. Now, in the Aeolian, okay, so we're looking here at the D box. Now, we wouldn't be looking at this anymore because we don't have that, you know, long, big of a guitar. Okay, so here's the D box now. And this is the D-shaped root. Alright, and the Aeolian arpeggio fits into what shape does the Aeolian fit into? And it would be the D shape in this instance. Okay, now of course Aeolian fits in easily, the 6 minor fits in easily to the parent major, the key major. So that's one thing to remember. You don't have a lot of figuring to do, so it's going to fit in easily to that key major. That's why root leading the way in this little D shape up here is also part of that. The Aeolian minor arpeggio is a good part of that D shape. It just doesn't have the 5th there. So we can play that. I can play it easier without the capo down here. Say D would be starting on the 3. Now, right, and then we go straight up from there. Because remember, Aeolian is 6, root 3. In the key of C, where C is root, so it's root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, it's A, C, E, and we start here on the 3 and we go. Okay, but additionally, if we look at the D shape, the pentatonic would be nice. It'd be like, you know, my rhythm a little bit that I put to that is just to get it done. But sometimes when I pause like that, I'm really just trying to get my bearings so I could continue on. I try to make it sound musical, and that's kind of like a technique, you know. See, doubling something buys you a little time to find the next note. That's fun. But what I wanted to explain is that you have this Aeolian cage-bound arpeggio in here, and of course we know the Aeolian arpeggio on the other chart that I fixed up for this. Oh, now it's disappeared. Uh-oh. Okay, so looking at that Aeolian right here, I forget what I was trying to explain. We got 6 root 3, 6 root 3. Now 6 is the relative root of Aeolian. Okay, so in that D shape there, it's interesting because where were we with that D shape? You know, how did we end up with that D shape? I thought D shape had a 2 in it. Where's my 2? Now that's interesting. So let's look at that. Alright, so what had happened there is we had decided to make the fretboard from 2 to 2, and that Aeolian wasn't a root Aeolian. It was a second inversion. So I had to look at the other chart. So this is where we were when we actually made that D cage there. So here is our 2. Here's our Aeolian 3, 6, root 3, 6, root 3. And in that case, we have an on-string interval. So then we go, we actually have 2, we should have 2 on-string intervals. But no, we're starting on second inversion already. So we go second inversion, 3, 6. Okay, then first inversion, then root. We end up here with kind of like practically root there. So we go from second inversion, we add 1 inversion to second inversion, we get a root arpeggio, 6 root 3, which is probably up here. So that's what happened there. But the thing I wanted to show you is okay, so here we are again. I had to remake our little D box here, and what I wanted to show you is that you can read it right off. So the bottom string is going to be the cage shape, okay, and the bottom string shape is the cage string shape. So once you have the situation like this, you can focus on the Aeolian minor, but